Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Brittany L. Smith for joining us today, one of the stars of the upcoming Netflix hit show, Sweet Magnolias. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Brittany, tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Peggy's character and the show in general that fascinates you the most and also convinced you and drew you to join us with the Magnolias?
Well, I didn't even think that I was going to be a part of the show when I auditioned. I was just like, oh, they're not going to hire me, whatever. Um, and my best friend actually convinced me to audition, and I'm so glad that she did because this is a beautiful show. The show's is centered around what I believe is character driven pieces. And that's something that I love and probably over plot driven pieces because I'm fascinated with people, their arc and their rise and their downfall and the cycle that they go through. And that's more, compelling as television, I think. So infusing that, how every individual goes through their character development process, and then also fusing that with family ties and friendship ties and how they're strengthened or how they fall away is something that I'm loving that we get to do and that we get to showcase, not just with the three Magnolias, but with everybody else in the town of Serenity. It makes for a compelling drama.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I think the audience loves the most about the show, besides all the drama and the love stories and the shocking values. But I think really the fact that the characters and the storylines are so relatable to the audience is what everyone loves the most about Sweet Magnolias, me included, because I'm a huge fan of the show. I've started watching it during lockdown when it came out, and I've just rewatched it with my grandma who was watching it for the
Oh,
first time, and she loves it. She's a big
oh,
fan.
that's so
And
great.
it really like warms my heart watching it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, the pandemic actually worked in our favor. I don't think anybody expected for it to take off and to be loved as it did, but it is and is cherished. And we thank you to the fans that watch it and bring family members on to watch it. So that makes us happy.
And Cecil, in your opinion, since the characters are so relatable and also well-rounded, is there any particular feature in Peggy's character that you can relate to on a personal note?
I would say Peggy's very committed to her work. She's very driven by what she does. Working at the newspaper and being the editor for the paper, or editor in chief for the paper, and being an actor is something that I love, is something that I'm really dedicated to, and working hard and doing the best that we can. Peggy sometimes, doesn't care about personal space with other people, though. So that's different from me, but definitely being character driven, and sometimes her sarcasm is maybe a little bit like mine. Hers is a little sweeter. Mine is a little tart in comparison, but I think those were the things that are probably the closest to us and ties to home. I'm not from Georgia, but I love to go back home to visit family. So
Great. And on the acting level instead, what's been for you the biggest challenge you experienced in portraying this character?
um I wanted to portray Peggy, I guess, like the way originally for the first season it's written on paper is that Peggy's kind of the bad girl group. Not bad girl, but that she's just not as friendly or not as sweet or as caring as the Magnolias. Her best friend in crime is Mary Vaughn, and they're kind of on the outskirts. So figuring out that she's still just a genuine person, she's just cut and dry, you know, exact, was something to get used to in a new skin. Because with me, I'm always like, let's figure things out. Like, let's talk, let's be peaceful, let's come to an understanding. Peggy is very much, it's either this or it's that. There is no in between. And if there's an in between, I'm going to slice it and figure out how it can be this or that. So that was something that, after a few takes and getting to know her, I had to learn and then settle into her skin with.
Yeah, she's pretty pragmatic, I think, and
A
just
little bit. Oh, she is.
so I guess it was really about challenging to portray. And talking in general, I said, is there any particular scene that you loved really much to film? What's your favorite scene so far you filmed so far as Peggy?
My favorite scene so far to film with Peggy is the moment where Isaac finds out that Peggy's her mom, well, his mom. I was waiting for that for a year, 2 years for that moment. So I'm just like, oh, I don't have to hold the secret anymore. I can finally get it done. And seeing how it portrayed, because, I planned it in my head to look 1,000 different ways, and then it's different when you actually do it. And it came out so beautifully. And I was very happy to do Peggy justice and to do Isaac justice. So that was one of my favorite things to do. And then the days where we get to have like all the cast on the set, like our big Serenity
Yeah.
days. I truly enjoy my cast. So seeing them, our people, is always fun to do. And you get to sit and talk and catch up on everyone's lives, because not necessarily does your character work with that other
Mhm.
character, but as actors, you get to speak to them on and off the set. So those are my favorite days.
That's really beautiful to hear. And now, speaking of season three, you said, which is coming out like in 2 weeks from
I
now.
know, it's last week.
And how would you describe the season for all the fans that are patiently looking forward to seeing it?
Without getting in trouble, I would say this season is all about choices you make and the consequences of those choices. That's not always a good thing. Oh, and it's not always a choice that you would want that character to make. I definitely have some opinions about some of the choices characters made, and I can't wait to talk about them with people, because I want someone to be on my side. That's not a reflection of Peggy or anything. That's different characters, but I would definitely say, who, you know, everything has a consequence.
Great, great. I'm really curious to know more, and I will surely have the chance to talk about this after the season airs.
Yes, yes, please do. I want to hear all the theories, all the expressions, all the thoughts that go on after
Yeah.
season 3.
And in the final episodes of season two, your character, like as we were saying before a little, but your character gave the audience like the hell of a plot twist. I mean, yeah, revealing herself to be Isaac's birth mother, but not only, because we've also found out that um Bill Townsend is the
Yeah.
father, actually. So, what was your initial reaction to that storyline, and what can we expect after that moment in
Uh,
season three from her?
it's always really funny. Everyone asks, like, are you shocked? Are you shocked? I was so relieved. I actually knew that secret day one, season one of filming.
Wow.
So the rest of the cast didn't know, the rest of the crew didn't know. It was only, I think, our executive producer, Norman, and our showrunner, Cheryl, and maybe one other person on the production side knew. One of the Chris's, I think, knew, either Chris Klein or Chris Medlin knew, but like further on in the season.
Yeah.
But my very first time meeting Cheryl, she's like, so. And so I was really, 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 really
I
hoping
guess
and
I guess that was the supreme challenge you
yes, to
experienced.
not share it with everybody. So by the time we got to it in season 2, I was like, oh, finally, I don't have to keep the secret anymore. I was so happy, like when it was the end of season 1 and everybody was giving out their theories. Oh, it's Peggy and Ryan, or it's Peggy and such, this other person. I was like, oh yeah, that's crazy. I didn't think about that. Oh, that's good. And having to, talk my way around things with my parents and family members. And I'm like, I really just want a season 2 so I don't have to hold the secret anymore. Please watch this show and give us a season 2 so I can get it out. So everybody was shocked, but I was very, very relieved. And I'm so glad that we could hold something that big of a secret that no one was expecting, that got everybody fired up, when it came to discovering that Bill Townsend was the father. So I'm curious to see how that Peggy, Isaac, Bill dynamic is going to unfold, and then how it unfolds as time progresses.
Yeah. And how is it like for you to build, like, to work with both Chris Medlin and Chris Klein, but and start also building this relationship, in particular the relationship between Peggy and Isaac, that we had the chance to see a little in the final episodes of season 2.
It's fun. It's really, really fun. Anytime Brittany gets to work with Chris Medlin, it is just fun. And just because we have a rapport, or we've built up a rapport with one another, and we laugh and cut up and act really, really silly. So by the time that our Peggy and Isaac scenes come together, it's just like talking to an old friend and being really comfortable and really relaxed. And then talking with Chris Klein, like watching him, like growing up seeing him on screen and on camera, and then getting to work alongside him, and he's such a down-to-earth guy. I know Bill gets like a lot of flack, but Chris is a really great guy, really a great scene partner, and easy to talk to, and just the way he treats people, which is everybody in this cast, really kind. And so that's been also really great, so that you can play and feel open and feel safe when you're in your scenes, and then feel free to see what comes about, and hopefully it's great and people enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. Even though Bill is like
Oh,
not the villain, but is a
the
very,
villain.
but
Every time you see
shout
Bill,
out shout
the
out
new.
to Chris. It is a really
Yes.
incredible actor, and we feel
Good.
that through the screen. I mean,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
and you were mentioning a little before, but speaking of your on-set experience with Sweet Magnolias, how can you describe it? How was it like for you to work with both the cast and the crew? And is there anyone you grew friendship with and you're still in touch with, even though you're not actually working on the show?
Honestly, okay, this is gonna sound really PC, but it's just the truth. This show spoils me. They just spoil me. And I don't mean that in like all the stuff that they give me. I mean, genuinely working with my cast and my crew, it is an absolute joy for there to be so many of us, and you are always willing to wake up and enjoy going to work and seeing the people there. And it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who's going to be there that day. It doesn't matter who's working that day. You just get along and you work well, and we laugh and we enjoy each other. And people that I've seen on television or heard growing up, and you're working alongside them now, they're so down to earth and they're so approachable. And that's even more of a dream come true, that you get to be in a space where you feel safe, and you get to be a space where you're like, I don't want to stay in my trailer. Let's see who's out there today. Let's talk and catch up. That's a joy. And I know not all projects can be like that. But to love my cast and crew genuinely, and I think that's what makes our show fun, is just that we are actually having fun. And so that starts at the top with Cheryl Anderson. She's our showrunner, and she does a great job of just getting great people, to be in this world. So that's my favorite part. I know a lot of people weren't expecting that, but we genuinely just have a good time.
But we love that. I mean, that's beautiful to hear that you had the chance to live such a beautiful family environment while working on the show. And as
Yeah.
you said, it's not always the case. I mean, it's not all the sets are like this, so
Yes.
it's a
Sometimes
plus.
exactly. Sometimes it's like, okay, let me know when you need me. I will be in my trailer. And a lot of our cast, they live out of this, like out of the state when we film. So I don't get to see them in person as much. But when they are in town, we'll have coffee dates or sushi dates and hang out and talk. And so that's what I love.
That's beautiful. Do you have any fun anecdotes to share with us from the set of Sweet Magnolias?
I don't know. I really can't think of any. I'm trying
Don't worry.
really hard. That's a great question, but I was I just don't
let's,
remember.
let's go on. Don't worry. And now another little fun question that we always ask to the people we're interviewing, and considering we're talking about Sweet Magnolias, it's on the Sweet Magnolias universe. If you had the chance to play any other character on the show apart from Peggy, which character would you have loved to play if you could, and why?
This is gonna sound so bad. If I could play any other character, I would want to play Mary Vaughn. Mary Vaughn, played by Allison Gabriel. She's a trip. Like the things that actually come out of her mouth crack me up because I'm like, how do you say this to people with a straight face? She will go out of her way to make sure she gets what she wants and will step on all the toes to do so and do it with a smile and unapologetically, and is very direct in a sometimes sweet Southern way, sometimes not. But I think the audacity of Mary Fawn is hilarious. It's she's just so bold, and I would love to see it. That's so different from me as a person that I would love to see what it's like walking in her shoes for as long as she's been on the show. So I think that would be curious to play Mary Vaughn.
And let's be honest, Mary Vaughn is one of the stylish women in Serenity. So
right, she's gonna serve you all the looks and all the tea while being cute. So if that is she's always ready to put somebody in their place and do it fabulously and fashionably.
Exactly. And we had the chance to chat with Alison Gabriel, who plays Mary Vaughn. Hey. And she teased that her character will have a very fun storyline with the dog in season 3, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more because I know it's gonna be the funniest thing ever.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. She constantly surprises me by every time I see her on scene. I adore it. So if Allison says that, then get ready.
Yeah. And outside of Sweet Magnolias, you also had the chance to join a beautiful Hallmark movies and mysteries movie that is To Her with Love, starring Sky P. Marshall and Tobias Turillian. What's your favorite memory out of that experience, and what fascinates you the most about the role you played, Tanya?
I was really happy and really grateful that Hallmark took on their Mahogany series. So by the time we were on To Her with Love, that was the second film in the queue. And bringing Black and brown faces to a predominantly white space for the first time was great, to make them at the forefront of telling their stories rather than just like the best friend or the boss, some minor character. They were leads all around, leads and supporting leads, and I love that they did that. So that was great representation to be seen, not just in front of the camera but also behind the scenes with crew and hair and makeup and wardrobe. So that was a beautiful time. And also Tanya and her character playing with Sky's character, I think examining the relationships of friendships as adults. It's when you're growing up and you're around kids, you're just friends because you live with each other. And then when you're an adult, it takes intention and purpose. And sometimes things fall apart and people don't talk about it. People do talk about it, but examining why things fall apart and if and how they can get back together is something that I genuinely like. Not a lot of the times does it work out well, but this time in the story it did. So that's what I liked about it.
Great. Speaking about the future instead, is there any upcoming projects that you can share with us?
Oh, I don't know if it's announced yet, or I don't know the date yet, but I will be on another playing a character on another series. I'm not sure if I could say it yet. Oh, for Terry Lake Drive. I can't say it, but I don't know when it comes out yet. So be on the lookout for that probably later this year.
Great, and we can't wait to see you on that. And
Oh,
good luck with all what's next.
thank you. Thank you so much.
And our last question, if you had to give some advice to young people, those people among our readers that want to pursue an acting career or a career in entertainment in general, may it be in writing or in directing, everything, what kind of advice would you give them based on your own experience?
Whew. Two things. One, this is going to sound crazy. Have a life outside of what you're doing. I know I love acting. I love it and it truly brings me joy, but have a life outside of that. A lot of the times when you're chasing a goal and you're working towards it and giving it everything you have, sometimes it can play with your mind that, oh, if I'm not succeeding, then I'm not worthy. And that's not true. You need to know that you're worthy if you're at home writing a script that nobody's read and you're at home trying to make this directing project happen that hasn't been, shopped yet or hasn't gone to film festivals yet. You're still worthy, and finding things that bring you joy outside of that so that you can know that I still have a life. I'm still a person. I can still do things that make me happy, even if on the career side things aren't as popping as you would like for them to be or going as fast as you would like for them to be. And also, I think with the pandemic taught us that you don't have to wait for anybody else to do it. All you need is probably your phone, probably your laptop, and some willing participants, and come together and see what kind of magic that you can make. And even if it's on like the smallest scale, or 6 seconds or 60 seconds, that's your baby that you've learn how to do. Google is a great source. YouTube is a great source. Things are different than they used to be. So I think just the doing process will teach you, one, how to be open to working with other people instead of somebody telling you, do this, do that. You're opening to the collaborative process, which is all this business really is. So, encourage yourself. You can do it. Find joy and keep doing it for yourself.
Thank you so much, Brittany. It's been really a pleasure to have you here and to chat with you about your work.
Thank you. Thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to speak to me. I think this is really sweet. I thank you guys, to the fan base over there, for watching the show. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about season 3. So it's been a joy.
And let's remind people that Sweet Magnolia season 3 premieres on Netflix July 20.
July 20th. Yep.
And we can't really wait to see what's next for Peggy, but also for all the community of Serenity.
Yes, stay tuned. I'm sure you have lots of comments and lots of thoughts as season 3 drops.
Thank you so much again, and have a good day.
Thank you.